In this video, I'm going to show you how to enable paging in the jQuery client-side grid by igGridPaging. I'm going to start off with some grid already on the page attached to a data source. So let's take a quick look at what's already been done in this HTML page. I'm pulling in the required script references for jQuery core, the jQuery UI, the templating plugin, and the igGridPaging JavaScript library. And then I'm also pulling in the CSS references so that we can style the grid as we want in our application. So once I have all these references pulled in my script block, I'm creating a local data source, which is a JSON array of 20 records, and it contains a product definition. So you have the product ID, product description, a product number, and a product price. And once I have this local storage created, I can, in my ready function of jQuery, I can grab the grid element that's been defined in my body here and convert that into an igGrid client-side grid control. And we're setting a couple of properties on that too. So we're setting auto-generate columns to false because we want to define columns by hand. And the next section, we go ahead and grab the columns collection and start defining each individual column that's coming from our data source. So we're setting the header text, we're setting the key and the width for all these 4 columns that are coming from our local JSON array. And the last, we go ahead and set the data source option of the grid to the data source, which is locally created here, .records, because that's the attribute that holds all of our data. So once we have all this set up, let's run this and see this what we have in our browser. So here you can see that it's a grid with about 20 records as product ID, description, number, and a price as defined in our column structure, and it's basically taking up that whole data source JSON array and putting into a grid control. So again, it's styled nice, all CSS has been pulled in, but we need to enable paging in this grid control. So let's go back into Visual Studio and write some code. So I'm going to come here, I'm going to, just like the columns collection you see up there, there's another collection called features, and here's basically all the features that are part of the grid. You can set it up here. So I'm going to open a square bracket and close it so that we don't miss it. And in here, I'm going to create a feature called paging. So I'm going to open curly braces. You can set a name. So the name of the feature is paging. And similarly, you can do sorting and filtering. There are other videos on that as well. So name paging. Then let's set up a type. And by type local, what it means that because all of our data is locally available, it's going to do local paging on this data source. If you have a remote access to the data, which means that you don't want to pull all the data at once, you can set this to remote, and then anytime a user changes to a different page, it's going to make a remote call to your data source and grab that page accordingly. So since our data is local, so we're going to set the type to be local. We're going to set the page size. There are about 20 records, so let's set a page size of 5, so we have about 4 pages in our grid. And if we want to disable the previous and next page links, so we will do show previous next pages to be false. So this way we won't get the links to go to the next and previous pages. We'll have just a link to kind of skip to the first and last page, and we'll use the numbers for different pages to just skip to the specific page number if we wanted to. So as you see, just by enabling the feature, setting the name, type to be local, page size, and show previous next page to be false, let's see what we have now at runtime. Okay, so just by doing that, we now have 5 records being displayed on the first page. We do have the links for the first and last page. We don't have the previous and next links, but we do have the ability to go to any page we wanted to just by clicking on it. So if you click on page 3, it's going to use a local mechanism because we set the type to be local because all the data is available on the client, and the grid can be paged accordingly. So in this video, you saw it's very easy using the features collection to assign a feature to the grid. In this case, we use paging, set up some properties, and the grid now has paging enabled out of the box. Thanks for watching the video.
igGridPaging on the web at igGridPaging.com.